I I don't want to eat the nugget. No, why would you think I'm going to eat some green goo if I wasn't going to eat a nugget? Why would you think? Oh, what's wrong with you, Nugget? Oh, I think I'm going to be sick. Kindergarten. A time where memories are made and fun times are had. Okay, that's a bad example. Okay, I get it. Kindergarten wasn't as good as I thought it was, but at least.
Subscribe, share,
Okay.
comment, and like the video, please.
Oh, alright. Okay, so it turns out we're talking about the game Kindergarten and not the no-speaking experience I'm sure many of us have had. If you haven't seen or played this game before, I highly suggest that you go do so because this series is a fun blend between problem solving and, well, action. Anyways, if you're still watching and decide to go against my advice, even though we both know I'm always right, the video game series follows you as the player, which, surprisingly, you don't actually have a name. And we don't see your parents, and, well, who the heck even are we? Sounds like a theory for another day. Anyways, we go to kindergarten and notice a few things that seemingly doesn't fit the kindergarten setting, such as beatings, not much teaching, and guns. All the things we wanted in a kindergarten, right? In all seriousness, it is very obvious that this school is a bit interesting to say the least. You go about beating missions set by your fellow classmates, which cause you to restart the day over and over and over and over again until you do finally get to the bottom of this mystery, where you defeat the evil principal and finally free Billy from the experiment going on. This is then followed by Kindergarten 2, where the same premise is followed, except we get some more information on what exactly these monsters are and why the children are being turned into them. This is then followed up by, of course, you guessed it, Kindergarten 3, where again, we defeat an evil principal and find out that the kids are being experimented on and have some sort of mutated gene that allows the goo to transform them. Is it just me, or am I sensing a pattern? Who knows, maybe in Kindergarten 4 we'll be fighting another evil principal. Anyways, in all seriousness, even with all this explanation we have been given, we are still left with a lot of questions, such as why they're actually being experimented on, why the kids keep getting sent to a corrupt school, and what the actual heck is the warp the janitor has been apparently in. I will try and answer all these questions except for the janitor one. That's a bit too cryptic for me. Hopefully a spin-off series called, I don't know, Kindergarten the Great Janitor War or something comes out, letting us know the janitor's backstory. Anyways, let's start off with why on earth these kids are actually being experimented on. The first obvious answer is because of the goo. This makes sense at first, even if it is some cruel way of developing a cure. However, we quickly find out that a company called Airsoft already has the cure to goo, so very quickly that explanation is thrown out the window. However, let me propose another way of looking at the kindergarten experiments. What if it wasn't just limited to the goo monsters? What if it was the other kids being experimented on too? This would help explain why the whole school is just filled with one or two classes filled with kindergartners, kindies, little kids. Okay, whatever. The point is they're all a part of the experiment. Is this really that hard to believe? I mean, heck, look at Monty. He is easily rivaling people in intelligence like Einstein. Just at 5 years old. 5 years old, people. Do I make myself clear? Most people can't even write their own name, let alone dig through computer scripts and find suitable parts for your mechanical dress. Another kid that is completely out of the ordinary is Nugget, which for whatever reason, he seems to be the most powerful of them all. It's unknown whether he has to have all the Monstermon with him to reach his full potential, or he's simply choosing not to use his powers. You may be asking, Anu, what the heck are you talking about? Shh! 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 To understand what I'm talking about, let's just take a look at the Monstermon ending, I guess you'd call it, where Nugget is shown in all three games to kill everyone in lots of ways. He literally summons lightning and obliterates everyone, makes everyone fade out of existence, and summon meteorites, which, if the Steam Trophy is to be believed, he ends the world. I mean, no wonder people would want a close eye on him. One wrong move and he can literally wipe out the whole world in one snap. Suck it, Thanos. Nugget doesn't even need the Infinity Stones and he wipes out double than what you can.
Old Yellows is under. This is all cool and stuff, but what about, I don't know, the other regular kids?
Well, fear not. I have the answer right here. Let's just take a look at the other kids and you too will see that they are all special in their own right. Just look at Cindy and Bugs, for example. They are seen doing feats that no normal 5-year-old should be able to do. Bugs crushing your skull? Do you know how much force, how many newtons you need for that? Cindy flat out ripping the janitor's head off, which, mind you, the janitor is shown fighting off a crocodile and losing his arm without proper weapons. A freaking crocodile. I mean, heck, even some of the later kids seem to have abilities of their own, such as Emmy and Carla, where Emmy has a talent for gardening, Carla seems to be pretty sneaky. Even you as the player very clearly have an ability, even if it's not as obvious as the other kid. What this ability is, you may ask? Well, it's time travel. After the day has ended, you restart the day and bring back whatever you obtained previously, showing that you have some sort of ability to time travel. This would 100% make sense to why you and the other kids are being experimented on. I mean, this has to be a pretty big scheme because it's not just 1 or 2 or even 3 schools. It's 4 that we know of. And who knows, it could be hundreds, testing kids and looking for possible abilities. What would they do with the kids afterwards? Who knows? Maybe it's just to survey them, or maybe it's to make super soldiers. This theory also explains how people like the janitor are able to get away with killing kids in broad daylight. Even the Monstermon themselves are a clear indication of this through the goo, because we very clearly hear the janitor say, okay, so this answers our questions, but it also leaves us wondering who's on top of all this. I must say, without a doubt in my mind, it's Felix's dad. Now you might be thinking, didn't he make the cure with his company? And to that, I have to agree with you, he did. But I mean, think about it. How on earth did he manage to cure goo infections without experimenting on people infected with the goo? And not to mention, since he's manufacturing the cure, it's almost certain that he has had loads of goo on him. Heck, even his kids are an experiment. They are constantly competing against one another. This isn't just some loving father, this is a damn scientist. I expect somewhere down the line, maybe even in Kindergarten 4, we will face the monster head on, and finally bring this corrupt system down. It just makes sense from every way that you look at it. I mean, look at him. He looks freaking weird and evil, probably. I don't know. This almost reminds me of another scientist that a lot of people probably know by now, that, had kids and, didn't love them all that much, to be quite frank. It all makes sense. Especially when shown the evidence in Kindergarten 3, where it is obvious that someone is at the top pulling the strings, experimenting on these kids who seem to have superpowers of, ranging from just being able to sneak around to being planet destroyers. Now, I was going to end the video there and, stop the footage and stuff and upload it. But then, while I was editing this video, I came across something that I had not quite seen before. And it's a reoccurring thing that no one has really talked about. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to take a guess. 1, 2, okay, you know what? My attention span's too short for that. I'm just going to tell you, okay? So, it's these ducks. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck am I talking about? But, I mean, it's been consistently in every single school. There has been ducks, and that's how you solve a puzzle to get a Monstermon. And, normally I would just, chalk this off to being an Easter egg. But if you look at the principal's final words, like before he dies, is he wants to give his child this rubber duck and says that he'll know what to do with it. Okay, obviously the poor kid, he doesn't know what to do with it, but it's obvious that these are two rival groups. One group obviously wants to free the kids of these powers and cure the monsters, or they genuinely just want to run a school, I guess. And the other, obviously not the ducks, whatever they're represented by in the games, they very clearly experiment with little kids and obviously test out their powers and, turn them into goo monsters. So, my final predictions for Kindergarten 4, which I'm guessing we'll see in a couple of years' time. Judging by how Kindergarten 3 ended, and you see the end credits and we're falling down into some hole or whatever, I think we're going to be fighting the big boss, either Huxley or whoever the heck her is. I also believe it will be confirmed that the kids have some sort of powers, abilities and whatnot. By the looks of it, we're not going to be in a school in the next game because of, in the ending, we're falling down. We don't actually see where we land, but we just know it's a big tunnel. Now, the big question is, what's their intentions with the kids? And I predict that in the next game, Kindergarten 4, we'll find out that their intentions was probably to take over the world, make super soldiers, or something like that, like I said earlier. I mean, to be fair, there's very little evidence to actually suggest this, but I mean, what else would you want to do with them? Other than, I guess, survey them? But, yeah, if you know anything else in the comments, let me know. But that's my predictions for Kindergarten 4. And since you've made it all the way here, you may as well subscribe. And maybe I'm pushing a little bit of my luck with this one, but leaving a like would also be greatly appreciated. Anyways, as always, leave your ideas or suggestions on what you want covered next, and I'll cover them. Oh, and one more thing. If you could, can you please press the hype button? It really helps out, smaller channels. And as you know, I'm a quite tiny channel, so it would be greatly appreciated and would make my day. Anyways, see you.